Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with One Piece. It's time for that Jujutsu Kaisen curse technique goodness. Let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples! Yushu92 here. Is everything synced up? Hold on. Because I set my camera a certain way. I hope I don't have that delayed filter on. Hold on. Because I put a filter on here so it can match up. Wait. Wave around. Okay, that's the delay on. Okay, it's not on. Okay. It looked a little weird to me where I wasn't moving exactly right. Hold on. Yeah. Okay, we're good. It's just my eyes playing tricks on me. But we are here with more Jujutsu Kaisen. Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here. I do a lot of tweaking some settings for my OBS whenever I record, so I always like to make sure it looks good for all of you. Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another Jujutsu Kaisen chapter reaction and review. In the last chapter, we had Yuki Tsukumo coming in to contend with Kenjaku after Choso got bodied a little bit, and he fell into the barrier, and we come to find out that her technique specializes in the manipulation of mass. Mass as a concept, which means that she can take her cursed spirit and kick it with resounding force, which allowed her to take out a special grade curse from Kenjaku's side, the same special grade curse that he used to basically murder a ton of Special Forces members from the United States back when he was demonstrating his power to the President of the United States and his, Lieutenant General there at the time. Yuki Tsukumo being another special grade cursed Jujutsu sorcerer along the same lines as Suguru Geto, Satoru Gojo, and Yuto Kotsu. There are 4 special grade people. Let me just affirm that before anyone corrects me. There are 4 special grades. And her ability to manipulate mass also extends to her own physical might as well, as she was able to not only hit Kenjaku with such resounding force that he was sent flying into the barrier on the other side of the space where they are, but also snap off both of his hands in the process. But due to him having a reverse curse technique that allows him to heal himself, he just gets back up. So now we get to see what Kenjaku does next, because if I remember correctly, the last chapter we had Kenjaku revealing his domain expansion. Let me get the name of his domain expansion again. Domain expansion womb profusion. And that's when Yuki was trying to tell Tengen to get ready to attempt to, do something to his domain. Chapter 206, Stars and Oil Part 2. Dispel Kenjaku's domain. And I guess this is, dispel Kenjaku's domain. His target is the Star Corridor with my main body. You will confront him in a room of a labyrinthian barrier directly overhead. And it shows Jujutsu High and the cursed warehouse underneath. And then it shows the interlocking pathways that have a way of leading to the Star Corridor where Tengen is, where Kenjaku, Yuki, and Choso were currently contending with him. So they're in the area above the Star Corridor right now in order to keep him from getting there. Each room is an empty barrier. A sorcerer skilled in barriers can alter its structure. A powerful sorcerer like Kenjaku will have command of the setting. So we're at a disadvantage. And it shows Yuki just chilling with Tengen. That's what we want him to think, so he will feel comfortable and stay inside the barrier. I am the master of empty barriers. You must get him to open his domain inside one. I will know what happens inside the barrier. I can analyze Kenjaku's domain and adjust the barrier to counteract its vector parameters. I don't get it, but the point is you'll neutralize his domain. Yes. In how many seconds? 10. So I can't use my domain during that time. Instead, I'll use simple domain, which doesn't burn through cursed energy, in a domain clash against Kenjaku. No. Wait. If I open my domain, Kenjaku will have to open his. Wouldn't that be faster? Even if my curse techniques burn out, we still have Choso and Garuda. No. Then the domain's outer layer will be your domain and yours will disappear before his. Besides, Kenjaku may resist your domain with Simple Domain or Hollow Wicker Basket, which retain curse techniques. And Hollow Wicker Basket is a curse technique that the dude that uses curse tags to fight against Fushiguro during the beginning of the Culling game, that's a technique that he was able to employ as well, which can retain curse techniques. Then Yuki. But that only buys you time against the real domain. Do I really look that weak? Kenjaku is one of the few who can equal me in barrier usage. Don't assume his Simple Domain is the same as others. Which means you get Kenjaku to open his domain, then I dispel it. And after Kenjaku has burnt through his cursed techniques, I beat his behind. Then it has narration. They miscalculated. Domain expansion. Womb profusion. And it shows Kenjaku using his domain expansion, and then Tengen thinking, Sukuna demonstrated this domain in Shibuya. It is an amazing feat in which he opens his domain and activates a technique without closing the barrier. Thus, there is no outer shell to remove. So basically, Kenjaku is able to use a domain expansion the same way that Sukuna was able to. There's no outer shell for them to remove, which means that there's no domain expansion for them to dispel. New shadow style, Simple Domain. And then the barrier starts to erupt towards Yuki. Darn it, what a powerful barrier. It's stripping away my Simple Domain. The barrier is so strong, it's stripping away her Simple Domain. And then Kenjaku notices. Do you think that technique can withstand my domain? Hurry, Tengen! And then it shows Yuki rushing towards Kenjaku. Ah, I see. An old maneuver from a shut-in, as it shows Kenjaku's barrier getting slowly peeled away and dispelled by Tengen and his barriers, as Tengen keeps doing different hand signs in order to dispel the barrier as well. Ah, I see. An old maneuver from a shut-in. I'm assuming that the edge of the guaranteed hits area is the outer shell, and will erase it along with my empty barrier. Tengen, I am not like you. I have lived. And then it shows Yuki running towards Kenjaku as her entire barrier gets ripped away. He stripped away my entire Simple Domain. 1,000 years of conflicts and alliances. A cursed world! And then the whole area in front of Yuki just implodes in on itself. Like, it looks like Yuki gets hit with whatever Kenjaku does. As it looks like he forces the area where Yuki is downwards and it causes it to implode, kinda. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what he did. I'm gonna read up on it. And then it shows the barrier still trying to work its way through Kenjaku's domain expansion. And then the whole area underneath them completely dispels. You dispelled my domain as well as the empty barrier, stubborn old fool. But it's too late. Wow! Wow, Yuki got hit. She got bodied. Yo, Yuki is just laying there covered in blood in her whole body is just like, she isn't smashed, but whatever he did, he hit Yuki with extreme force and the whole barrier that was surrounding them completely broke down. And Yuki's just laying there in a pool of blood, covered in wounds. But it's too late. A fight with your own domain may not have led to such a poor conclusion. You shouldn't have relied on him. Tengen has hidden something important from you. The culling games, and then he stops as the cursed spirit that is usually around Yuki is still there. Like, if he killed Yuki, then her cursed spirit would be gone. But it's not. Garuda is still there. The Shikigami hasn't disappeared. And then it shows Yuki, who is up, who's standing up. And he looks behind him, and Garuda tries to hit Kenjaku. She's still conscious. She can barely move, but she might be able to use reverse curse technique. Her Shikigami is buying her time to heal. Fine, I'll replenish my curse techniques. Then, even though Yuki's entire right arm is completely mangled and broken after being forced down into the ground by Kenjaku, she manages to try and hit him. Why won't you heal yourself? I don't wanna. And it shows Yuki, despite being able to use reverse curse technique to heal herself, just fights him in her mangled state. Yuki's a unit. Can we say that? And it shows them clashing with each other as Garuda comes up right behind Kenjaku and wraps around him. And then Yuki stops and falls to the ground, as Garuda binds itself and wraps around Kenjaku even tighter, making his movements more restricted. She's at her limit. You must have thought you'd surprise me, but isn't there a better way of doing this? Have you forgotten? I like the rough type. And then, as she says this, it shows Choso breaking through this, because this chapter made it appear like Kenjaku broke through the entire barrier, but it actually was another fake, as Choso breaks through, preparing to hit Kenjaku point blank with what appears to be supernova. And that's the end of the chapter. Ooh, this is getting juicy. Oh, this is good. Okay, so let me look this up. JUJUTSU KAISEN. JUJUTSU KAISEN. Let me pull up this chapter so I can read through like the synopsis, the big synopsis of what happened today. Okay, that's 204. That's 205. Oh, they haven't updated it to 206 yet. Wait, did they? Yes, they did. Okay. Oh, wait, that's just a quick summary. That's not everything. That's not everything. Dang. I was hoping to have a lot more information. But they haven't updated yet. Yuki, Tsukumo, and Tengen execute their plan to counter Kenjaku's domain in hopes of finally defeating the curse user. However, they made a major miscalculation and underestimated their opponent. When the plot goes awry, Yuki must rely on her toughness to survive and execute one last-ditch effort to win. So they haven't filled out the bigger plot details for this chapter quite yet. Like, there's nothing for it yet, but from what I gather, they miscalculated in thinking that they were simply going to allow Kenjaku to run out all of his curse techniques, and then they would just simply dispel his entire domain expansion, which Tengen pretty much confirmed can operate in the same way that Sukuna's domain can do. And when they miscalculated, it pretty much led to, like, if I go back to this chapter, he hit Yuki with such force. Like, he raised his hand up and brought it down, and the entire area where Yuki was forced downwards with extreme force. A lot of people are saying that Kenjaku has something related to gravity, like a curse technique relating to gravity. So, like, hold on, Kenjaku. Let me see if his curse techniques come up that way. Curse technique manipulation, maximum Uzumaki, unnamed gravity technique. So yes, he has so it's an unnamed gravity curse technique. So we now have special grade users that have manipulation over mass, space, and now gravity. With Yuto Okotsu having control over energy due to the almost boundless amount that he gets from Rika. But yeah. So that he basically hit Yuki with enough gravity to mangle her whole body and completely break and maim her right arm. but it's named an unnamed gravity technique, has the ability to control the gravity of objects. During his battle against Choso, when the supernova was about to hit Kenjaku, he used its ability to pull all the blood down into the ground, preventing his body from being hit. So here, he also displays the manipulation of gravity in order to not just make it so he can manipulate the gravity of objects, but also just bring it down and allow him to manipulate it forthwith, which allows him to just bring his hand down and the whole area in front of him just completely implodes because he's forcing gravity to just be forced onto whatever's in front of him with extreme force, which caused what happened to Yuki to happen. But yeah, he just says 1,000 years of conflicts and alliances, a cursed world, and he brings his hand down and the whole area just crumbles as Yuki gets hit full force with just a copious amounts of gravity. But Yuki proves to be a unit, as even despite her entire body being mangled and mashed by gravity, she gets back up and she continues to fight against Kenjaku, even with a massively broken arm, allowing Choso to come up right behind Kenjaku, who's bound by Garuda, who's preparing to use looks like he's preparing to use Supernova on Kenjaku at point-blank range. Now, my thing about Kenjaku is that this dude has had an ace up his sleeve for several chapters. Every single time, this dude has an ace up his sleeve that gives him an edge. So my thing is, even though it looks like Kenjaku's been grabbed and he's been got, my thing is this dude still has a gravity technique that he could use on any one of them. Now, mind you, we don't know the full parameters of this unnamed gravity technique he has access to, whether there's limitations or weaknesses. But what I do know is that this dude has always been one step ahead of everyone going forward ever since he absorbed Mahito and gained access to Idol Transfiguration. He's been one step ahead of everyone. So, and it doesn't show that we're getting another chapter quite yet. It just says view chapter list. It doesn't have like a new chapter is going to be popping up in the next couple of days or so. It doesn't give us like a time frame of when the next chapter for Jujutsu is going to drop, so we gotta wait. I don't know if they're on break or what, but we just have to keep an eye out. But whenever Kenjaku does something, we all need to be wary. I don't know what he has up his sleeve. We haven't seen the full effect of his domain expansion as Tengen has been trying to break it down. We just gotta wait and see what he does. That we're literally at that point because he always has something to counter what everyone has done. He's even countered another fellow special grade curse user. So I don't know. It's just like Kenjaku has always been one step ahead. I don't think this is gonna slow him. That's how I feel about it. But we're just gonna have to see. You guys, let me know what you thought of this chapter as a whole. And we just got to think of, I don't know, I don't even know if we're on break or what, but you guys let me know what you thought of this chapter as a whole, and whether or not Kenjaku is actually going to get hit by something and they actually do something to Kenjaku, or he has another technique that he's going to use to counter Choso and the rest of them. We just got to wait until next week. Hopefully the next chapter drops then. But like I said, you guys let me know what you think of this chapter as a whole. It's just like, wow, there's a whole bunch going on, and yet at the same time, Kenjaku still doesn't look like he's at a disadvantage. That's the scary thing. But we're just gonna have to wait for the next chapter. So, all I can say to everyone here is, hope y'all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next... No, come in. Say hi to everyone, mother.
Hello, everybody in YouTube land.
Thank you. I will eat this before I do my One Punch Man reaction. Thank you.
Have a blessed holiday, YouTube space.
Love you, Mom.
Love you.
But to everyone here, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. Once again, as always, later, peoples. I am going to eat my food, though. I'm going to eat my food before I catch up to those One Punch Man chapters. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to eat food first, then I'll put the stream up for One Punch Man afterwards. So stay tuned for that, everybody. If you guys want to tune in, that's entirely up to you. But yeah, till next time, everybody, it's time for the carnivores